What's happening, YouTube? High definition television, aka your boy Eric B. Got a video. Got a video for you today. What day are you gonna get the video? Well, I'm recording it on Monday, the day of the eclipse, I think. I don't know. I didn't see it. It's super cloudy and shitty up here, Pacific Northwest. I've been wanting to do a video for a while. I think the last time I was on fucking YouTube was like heavy metallurgy, and that was what, a month and a half, 2 months ago now at this point, with Simon and Marty and Alan talking about nowadays black metal. Check that one out if you haven't peeped it. You should be subbed to heavy metallurgy at this point. If you're not, what are you doing? Get more of a fan base than this fucking channel does at this point. These videos really anymore just like maintenance. Anyway, I've been in the mood to do a video. Long story short, so that's what we're here for. A video. I was just trying to think of shit to talk about, and I had some ideas floating around, and I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. Follow thingy might be down below, maybe. I post what I'm listening to in the gym in my stories. And I thought it'd be fun to just kind of go through, a handful of shit that was on repeat at the gym the last couple weeks. Not this week, but my cutoff was this last Saturday for everything we're about to look at here. So I thought it'd be fun. Fuck it. I listen to a ton of music here at home too, but I'm at the gym like literally 7 days a week between work and working out. So that's where I listen to a large portion of the music that I listen to. The old earbuds, the Jabra Elites. Fucking. All right, are you ready? I'm ready. Let's look at some of this shit. Typhoon, out of Germany, I believe. This was released by Desolate Records some years back. Really fucking good raw punk, D-beat, like Mangle at times. Just, I think the kids are calling it like chain punk nowadays. It's all like in kanji too, which is kind of a shtick. There's a lot of like callbacks to fucking Burning Spirits type hardcore in here, so like a lot of Death Side influence in the guitar work. A side just fucking rips. B side is a singular noise track. It's actually pretty fucking good. Really, really good release by Typhoon. This is on Bandcamp. And I should mention, everything that I'm showing physically is available to listen to on either Bandcamp, Apple Music, or YouTube. Those are the three services I use primarily while at the gym. I don't use Spotify. Next thing, I've had this for a long time, and I recently picked up an LP that they released around the same year, took on tour with them in Japan, like 2005, I want to say. Talking about the Portland band Cutthroat. It's funny, I grabbed the LP, excuse me. It's a mini LP. It's like single-sided, etched on the B side. And it rips. I wanted to listen to it at the gym, but the only thing I could find digital was this EP on YouTube. Cutthroat at the Seams. This shit just rages. It is PDX punk, early 2000s. That might not mean anything to a lot of you, but that pretty much defines a sound. Like if you're familiar with anything that was on Rust in the Machine records around the end of the 2000s into the early 2010s, mid 2010s, they put out like a bunch of like Napalm Raid shit and fucking other stuff that's quality punk. This would have fit really well in that roster. It's raw. It's driving. It also, like a lot of the best Portland bands, evokes a sense of like street punk, oi at times, but never really leaves the hardcore realm. It does devolve into crusty sounding type shit every once in a while. Anyway, really good EP. Really short, so this was on one of the days where I listened to a lot of shit. Sometimes I'll just queue up a whole bunch of EPs, and that's what I hear for like the next hour and a half, 2 hours while I'm there. Um, what next? Fucking how about this one? Classic. I don't really give a shit about Record Store Day. Occasionally, label will do something really cool. Southern Lord has done some cool shit previously, and they're doing a cool shit this coming Record Store Day. They're putting out a box set for a Seattle band that no longer exists, Black Breath, Razor to Oblivion. Here, this is their first EP. This is an original press. My favorite release by Black Breath. Anyway, Southern Lord's putting out a box set with everything Black Breath put out included. It's tempting, but you know, I've already got what I need from the band. Local band, like I said, from Seattle. Unfortunately, gentleman Elijah passed away a few years back, way too soon. The guy was young. He worked at one of the local shops out here, one of the local record stores. The Seattle branch of Everyday Music, and he was just a cool dude, man. Like we'd go in there and just talk music, and not just metal, but like any kind of music that you really might pop into your head when you're browsing. Really approachable, super just like mellow, chill guy, man. And like I said, he passed away way too soon, way too young. Anyway, the record. What does the record sound like? I already went through the effort of re-sleeving it. I'm not getting anything out here. Although, actually, no, you know what? Fuck that. This is too cool. Anyway, it's the original yellow version on, did I already say, Hot Mass Records? Doesn't matter. This record rips. It's like first wave black metal, throwback, thrashy, fucking punky, so you hear a lot of Motorhead in here as well, a lot of Venom, Tank, but a lot of like that early Hellhammer type sound. Like if you like fucking the old Midnight shit, like before Metal Blade got their hooks into that shit, like Satanic Royalty era, you'll hear a lot of similar sounds on this record as well. Or like Chapel, I think out of Vancouver, Canada. Anyway, just absolutely ripping 4-track EP. Stellar. Crucial. If you don't have it, it's expensive for this these days. Get the box set, man. It's coming out. It's going to be cool. Like I said, Southern Lord does do some quality work, and some of it comes out on Record Store Day. How about another tape? I've talked about it. I'm pretty sure I showed this before. This Raw Power, Mind to Kill. This is not the earliest Raw Power. This is like their maybe fourth record, I want to say. Third or fourth. Released by, what label put this out? Jesus. I don't know. I can't even read it. Southern Studios. There we go. There's the J card. Really fucking great crossover from Italy. Raw Power started, I don't know, I would argue that Raw Power was always kind of a little bit crossover-ish, but they were definitely a bit more like just on the hardcore end of things early on. This is just a straight up thrash record, really. It does have the same Raw Power vocals that I guess you could argue make it not a thrash record. You fucking gatekeepers. Anyway, it's a thrash record, and it's scathing as fuck, and absolutely just visceral, and undeniably Italian, might I add. Raw Power always had some quirks. that kind of, were embodied by Italian bands in the 80s, or even now, like Bulldozer, fucking Schizo, fucking even like Death SS, but not so much on the heavy metal tip for Rock Power, obviously. Think like that fucking collab between Bulldozer and Schizo. Is that right? No, Schizo did a collab with some fucking other Italian band, Necro Death, and you'll kind of hear what this kind of harkens to. It's really fucking good. That's long story short story long. I'm rambling. Kind of an old release. Also kind of an old release. And this is I haven't been saying where I was listening to all that shit, but you all fucking are internet savvy, and if you fucking have to ask me these questions and you can't just pause and Google some shit, I don't know what to tell you. This is old, and it's on YouTube, and it's the Verukers, Another Religion, Another War, and probably of this era, my favorite Verukers material. It's either between this or the second full-length Verukers record, which, fuck, I can't. Why does the title of that escape me right now? I mean, it doesn't really matter for all intents and purposes. The cover to that is actually displayed here on the lyrics sleeve for this bad boy. Double 7-inch. You got like, 8 tracks on here, and they all fucking rip. Verukers, if I have to actually explain, I'll explain it. The Verukers started off like, I think they were signed to Riot City. And they were very much UK 82. Think like Punk's Not Dead by The Exploited, or like fucking English Dogs, Mad Punks and English Dogs EP, or that kind of vibe. Fucking and that's a lot of what you would hear on that early Exploited material, like their first LP too, early EPs. With their second LP, they got a lot more crusty, a lot more fucking metallic, indebted to the likes of bands like Sacrilege, or like what would go on to inspire bands like Bolt Thrower. So Sacrilege would be like a comparison. Concrete Socks, not necessarily so much Sorry Vicar, that's kind of more like a thrash record. But the first Concrete Socks for sure. Fucking old ass Onslaught, pre-Power from Hell. Onslaught. That's what you hear on most of these tracks. The A-side starts off pretty much in familiar space from like the early Verukers type material. It's a little bit more razor sharp, a little bit more technical, although none of this is technical shit. But it's really the B-side, C-side, and D-sides that just fucking they just rip your face off, like in that sense of like crusty UK fucking metal punk, really, for lack of a better term. It's killer. Love this Verukers material. This has been a big staple for me at the gym. Fucking just gets me through my shit. Here's another one. On Carbonized Records, Isotope. I don't really know. I think these guys are from California, Southern California. 2019, self-titled EP, mini LP, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Really, really killer, fucking crusty, hardcore. I don't know, comparisons to like Languid or Absolute. Comparisons to that last record we got from War Victims out of Sweden. RIP to that band, as far as I know. This is just savage chain punk of the finest pedigree. It rules. Absolutely pummeling fucking crust, and I love it. And I'm re-sleeving. What are you gonna do? Let's see. How about this one? This is another good one, and I know I've talked about these guys before on here. Gasm Asma with their Trench Rats EP. First of all, that cover, man. If you can't tell what this is going to be just based off of that cover, well, here's the back cover for you. Just punishing D-beat. These guys are like a super group. I know at least, I think Jimmy Bauer from Down is involved in this band. At least on the LP he was. I don't know, does it say inside here who's on this? No, just list the tracks. It doesn't really matter. It's fucking just top-notch D-beat. Like I said, punishing, savage, unrelenting, pummeling, all these adjectives I've used already today. Stellar. And at times bordering on even bordering grind. It gets really, really brutal, really crusty, but it never leaves that D-beat territory that, I know and love Gasm Asma for purveyors of that type of shit. I don't know where I put. No, it doesn't really matter. What next? Well, how about this? We talked about the Vrookers. This has been on high rotation like last 2 weeks. Sacrilege, Beyond the Realms of Madness. This is the Relapse reissue from like 2014 or 2015, double LP. The C side is their 86 demos. The D side are 2 tracks from 2015 and 2 live tracks. I've never listened to the D side. The A and B side are where it's at. The record. I don't know why they had to change the cover art for this reissue. If you're familiar with this record, you'll know that this is not how it was originally presented on Pussmort Records, or if you got the Children of the Revolution version. Gatefold. Really nice addition, though. I actually don't mind this revamped cover art. I usually hate that shit. Sacrilege, just stellar pioneers of UK crust and metal. If it weren't for Sacrilege, you could argue that we wouldn't have Bolor as we know them to be today. Again, I'm going to throw out that early Onslaught comparison. Hell Bastard would be another point of comparison for this material. This first LP that they put out, and then the one that followed it, which I can't remember the name of, but I actually like just a smidge more than this record. Just killer. You'll hear like Motorhead worship in here as well, but it is metal as fuck, punk as fuck, crusty as fuck, and just rules, man. Like, guitar work is stellar. There's awesome solos. I love the vocals. What's her name? Can't think of her name. Fucking escapes me. Doesn't matter. Killer vocalist. Fits the style of the music perfect. Really cool. Really good shit. And since, I mentioned it, we might as well throw up the last LP that I grabbed. Bolor, Warmaster. Generally tied with Realm of Chaos for being my favorite post In Battle There Is No Law Bolor material. Because we all know In Battle There Is No Law is the best Bolor, right? We all know that? Yeah, we should. Bolor, man, what do I have to actually tell you about Bolor? I'm not going to. This is one of those FDR reissues Eric did. Cool, kind of cool printed inner sleeve. Didn't come with I wish it had come with a reproduction of the book that came with the original pressing for this. Those are fucking expensive though, man. I had one back in the day, way back when, and have since pined to reacquire it. In fact, if you have the book and would be willing to do like a scan of said book and send it my way, hit me up in the comments down below. Anyway, this material smokes. It is awesome. Like I said, right up there with Realm of Chaos. This absolutely stellar bolt thrower material. Can't go wrong. You should get it if you don't have it. These reissues are fairly easy to come by, I think. I don't know. I got mine sometime. More tapes. Naked Whipper. Pain Streaks. This, as far as I know, this is a legit edition. Limited to 100 molestations. Naked Whipper were a grindcore band out of Germany, I think. And yes, that's some stellar Chris Moyen artwork that was on the original version of this album on LP, I believe. This has the full album on the A side. The B side is live material. And you've got this. Okay, let me just side note. This Naked Whipper album, Pain Streaks, next to the self-titled Deranged record, which I think I showed last summer, may a contender for one of the most ignorant things in my music collection. You have tracks titled Pagan Pussy Gore Intruder, The Ultimate Molestator, Nun Rider, Hyper Incest. That's just a few. Those are just like the Chef's Kiss song titles. This stuff is just fucking wild. Blackened Grind from the 90s. I can't really think of much that sounds like it currently. You hear a lot of black, maybe like the Watchtower shit that came out back in like early 2000s. I want to say fucking, was it Willowtip put it out? I might be wrong there. Anyway, influenced by a lot of classic shit. I mean, you'll hear odes to shit like Siege. You'll hear odes to shit like the fucking Napalm Death from Enslavement to Obliteration era. You'll hear callbacks to this shit right here. This has also been on high rotation. Repulsion, Horrified. And while this definitely does not equal this in terms of exact sound or quality, like I said, you can hear elements of this on this for sure. Terrorizer World Downfall on there as well. A lot of groove for a blackened grindcore project from the early 90s. This, however, I mean, what to say about Repulsion's Horrified that, more erudite YouTubers have not said before me. This is my original copy of Horrified, put out by Relapse Records. I don't know what year Relapse released this. I think the record itself is from like 88, 87, 88. Early grind. Basically genre defining. Absolutely stellar. This one, I'll throw this on the earbuds and I will just listen to it on repeat while I'm at the gym. This album will last me a full workout, just over and over and over again until I'm done. Awesome. One more thing to show. This is also awesome and stellar, and I wish this band had put out more than just this one release reissue. I think this is an international project, but primarily out of the Boston area. Death Evocation with their self-titled EP released by Quality Control HQ. Death Evocation. This is just pure sacrilege worship, but it's so good. The people involved in this band, I mean, are like kind of who's who of Boston hardcore. You got folks from like Battle Ruins, Rival Mob, Magic Circle, involved in the production of this album, and it's killer. I think they've also gone on to be in a band whose shit is equally as hard to come by as this is now, Lifeless Dark. And I think there's another related band that might be still current. I don't know if Lifeless Dark is still doing anything. They put out like an EP and a cassette, and that shit went like that. And if you didn't grab one, you're fucked. And I fall into that category. Luckily, I got one of these, and this is just stellar fucking crust, stellar hardcore. Like I said, it's sacrilege worship. If you like, say, like After the Bombs, you know, similar vibes there as well, and just awesome, killer fucking shit. So this is part one. I might do this regularly. This is fun. I like going through this shit. Hopefully you guys liked some of what you saw, some of what I said. Let's have a conversation down below if anything strikes you as something you want to talk about. I'll try and do these more often. I do have fun when I film these videos. It's just finding the time, you know? I got adult shit that I got to worry about. Much like all of us. That said, take care of yourselves, and as usual, don't be shitty. I know it's hard for some of you. Just don't do it. Later.